Okay, guys, so in the previous question, we looked at this question to do with childhood obesity. Hopefully, guys, you'd agree that this is one of the more simpler questions, and hopefully, guys, you were easily able to bag these marks. If not, guys, remember that's no problem. It's still early stages. There's tons of these questions, and at least, hopefully, guys, you understood why the answer C is the correct answer through my explanation. So let's move on to the next one, guys. The next question is IMAT 2015, and we're going to be starting with question 3. So let's read through this one, guys. So it'll be, so let's read it. So it says, now it might be thought an amazing coincidence if Earth were the only planet in the galaxy on which intelligent life evolved. If it happened here, the one planet we have studied closely, surely one would expect it to have happened on a lot of other planets in the galaxy, planets we have not yet had the chance to examine. This objection, however, rests on a fallacy. It overlooks what is known as the observation selection effect, so it wouldn't be such a coincidence. Whether intelligent life is common or rare, every observer is guaranteed to originate from a place where intelligent life did in fact arise, since only the successes give rise to observers who can wonder about their existence. It would be a mistake to regard our planet as a randomly selected sample from all planets. Which of the following best expresses the main conclusion of the above argument? So guys, give yourself over a minute, pause the video, come back, and we shall be going through the solution. Okay, guys, let's go through this. So it says, now it might be thought an amazing coincidence if Earth were the only planet in the galaxy in which intelligent life evolved. So yeah, this is it's a semi opinion. People might think it's not really. Yeah, I agree, it's an opinion, but it's not really too much of a strong opinion. I'm just gonna bracket it off now because it's the first sentence we read. Well, there probably is a stronger opinion in there somewhere. And then it says, if it happened here, the only planet we have studied closely, surely one would expect it to have happened on a lot of other planets in the galaxy, planets we have not yet had the chance to examine. Then it says, I think the next one's tightly knotted in this. It says, this objection, however, rests on a false fallacy. It overlooks what is known as observation selection, so it wouldn't be such a great coincidence, right? So from that, guys, the one I want to really be pointing at is this objection, however, rests on a fallacy, overlooks what is known as so it wouldn't be, yeah. So this is a really strong opinion. So he's saying that, people would think this. However, this theory rests on this fallacy, this idea, but which he's essentially trying to say that it's false, and therefore he's trying to say that it isn't such a great coincidence that Earth is the only place where intelligent life has arisen. So I think from that, guys, we can X out the other parts. Yeah, I agree, guys, this is a bit of a weird passage in terms of understanding what's going on, but you do get sometimes some of these, so it's good to put yourself into the deep end sometimes. Okay, and then it says, whether intelligent life is common or rare, every observer is guaranteed to originate from a place where intelligent life did, in fact, arise. Yeah, that's an opinion, but not as strong as what he's trying to say here, is that um, pe people who think this, their idea rests on this, but I'm saying that idea is false, right? That's basically what he's trying to say there, and that's really much stronger than what he's trying to say in this sentence. So this can be X'd out. And then it says, since only the successes give rise to observers who can wonder about this, it would be a mistake to regard our planet as a randomly selected sample from all planets, right? So yeah, that one sounds. This one's. I agree, guys. This is a tricky passage, but that last sentence, it would be a mistake to that. That does sound like opinionated, is trying to force an idea on you, right? But it's not really. We could put this in the mix then. Let's just put this in the mix. Put that in the mix, but we're gonna X out this, right? So basically, from those two things we've bracketed off, guys, what he's essentially trying to say, it would be a mistake to think Earth is randomly selected to have intelligent life form, and and that basically encompasses the last part as well. But let's go through the options. It says our planet is not a randomly selected sample from all planets. Okay, that really replicates the last sentence, isn't it? But our planet is not randomly selected from all planets in terms of what? In terms of what food, in terms of the stuff we have in our air, right? So this doesn't really bring forward the idea of intelligent life. So this one can't be it, right? However, common intelligent life is, every observer would certainly originate from a place where intelligent life did in fact arise. Yes, that's talking really specifically about this sentence, isn't it? Again, remember, guys, when it's talking about a really specific sentence, the odds are that that's going to probably be wrong, because asking for the conclusion of the above argument, not the above or a specific part of the sentence, it can't be that. If life had evolved here on Earth, it would probably have happened on a lot of other planets in the galaxy. So here, that's wrong, isn't it? It's basically trying to say intelligent life form probably only exists. It's actually saying the opposite of that in this paragraph. So this one can't be it. Then it says there would be no amazing coincidence if we discovered that Earth were the only planet against on which intelligent life evolved. Yeah, that sounds it, isn't it? Because that encompasses the last sentence saying that Earth is not randomly selected, and that other part over there where it's saying that it wouldn't be a coincidence that Earth is the only place where there's intelligent life. So this is good. This is the strongest so far. And then it says it would be an amazing coincidence if Earth were the only planet on which intelligent life evolved. No, so that is actually saying the opposite. It wouldn't be such a coincidence. So this part, it wouldn't be such a coincidence. So it can't be this one, right? So hopefully, guys, you managed to get D. And even if you didn't manage to get D, I agree, guys. This is a really difficult passage. Even if you didn't manage to get D, guy, um, I believe for many of you, it would have probably been between A and D. And either way, if you narrow it down to two, you've increased your chances to 1 to 2 from, well, in this question 1 to 5, which is really good anyway. But anyway, guys, hopefully that has made sense, and I look forward to seeing you in the next question. Okay, guys, so previously we were challenged with question 3, I think in the IMAT 2015 paper. But hopefully, guys, with the explanation, things were a bit more clear. If you remember, guys, if you have any questions, just comment down below, and I'll be more than happy to answer your queries. So let's move on to the next one, guys. So question 12 of the same paper. So it says sports are played either as a means of getting exercise or as a competition with an opponent. Some sports, such as football, involve a large number of running, and some people are more motivated to run when it's part of the game. Other sports, such as pool, do not involve much physical activity, so it's unlikely that they would be played for exercise. Which of the following conclusion is best supported by the passage above? So, guys, give yourself a minute, come back, and we shall go through the solution. Okay, guys, so let's go through this. So it says sports are played either as a means of getting exercise or as a competition with an opponent. So yeah, that could be his opinion, right? But again, it's not really strong. It's not really demanding anything, isn't it? So I'll just bracket that off anyway. And then it says some sports such as football involve a large amount of running, and some people are more motivated to run when it is part of the game. Yeah, that's I'll agree. That's probably more of a, even if it is an opinion, it would be a really weak opinion, right? But so that's probably more of a fact. So I'll just cross this out. Then it says also pool do not involve much, and so it's unlikely that they will be played for the exercise. So that's probably, I'd say, is the strongest opinion. So it's saying it's unlikely they will be played for exercise, right? So I would say this part over here, pool is unlikely to be played for exercise. So that's what he thinks. The previous one, he says, and some people are motivated to run when it is part of a game, compared to is unlikely. So here he's just giving an idea, but here he's really saying, okay, this is the idea, but it's even unlikely for it. This is an idea, but it's unlikely to be that. Right? That's much stronger opinion than the previous one, and I think that's going to beat the top one as well. So you can cross that out. Right, so from that, I probably something along the lines that it's unlikely that people play pool for exercise. But let's go through it. So, this football is better sporting activity than pool. No, it doesn't really describe that in most opinionated senses, isn't it? And also, it doesn't say anyway football is better than pool as well. So that's just clearly wrong. There's no point in running as a hobby since football is more fun. Yeah, it doesn't even talk about running as in like just running as in athletics here. So that's going to be wrong. It's easier to exercise when it's part of another activity such as playing sport. It's not saying it's easier, it's just saying that people sometimes prefer doing that. It's not saying that it makes your life easier if you do that. So that can't be right. People who play pool are more likely to be interested in the competition than those who play football. Yeah, I think that's a good one because it says do not involve, so it's unlikely to be played for the exercise. So I think so far that's the strongest one, but the last one might be stronger. It says since the main reason of playing sports is to get exercise, pool should not be classified as a sport. Nowhere in that paragraph, guys, they say pool should not be classified as a sport. To get to that conclusion, you done some mental brain work to come to that conclusion. That's wrong. So, guys, by process of elimination, D, I think, is the right answer. So, again, guys, hopefully, even though that you might not think that that's exactly the one you're looking for, that's probably the closest one to what we decided was the conclusion from looking at the passage. And hopefully, guys, even if that wasn't the case, you can see why the other ones are incorrect and therefore why D is the correct one. So, hopefully, guys, that made sense. And be sure to come in and join us for the next clip. So, guys, welcome back. So, previously, we were looking at this question 12, to do with, I think it was pool and football. Hopefully, guys, that wasn't too difficult, and hopefully you managed to get the answer, or if not, you managed to understand how I got the answer. Next question, guys, is question 4T. So let's read this together. Although it is sometimes suggested that the congestion caused by the bunching of cars on motorways could be eased by increasing the speed limit to 150, such an increase would not be a good thing. An estimated 35% of drivers exceed the speed limit by 20 kilometers per hour and would continue to do so if the limit were raised. Since bunching is caused by speeding drivers trying to pass those who observe the speed limit, raising the speed limit would result in the same amount of congestion but at an increased speed. Moreover, a high speed limit would encourage all drivers to drive faster and thus would increase the existing danger from those who could drive too close to the car in front. Which of the following best expresses the main conclusion of the above argument? So, guys, minute or so, come back and we'll be going through the solution. Okay, guys, welcome back. So let's go through this. It says, although it's sometimes suggests that congestion caused by the bunch of cars on what could be eased by increasing the speed limit to 150, such an increase would not be a good thing. Again, guys, remember a keyword: would not, should not, must not. This can't happen. So this is really a strong opinion. Not super strong, but I'll probably say like 95% strong, right? That wouldn't, so this thing, such an increase to 150 would not be a good thing. And the other part is just we don't really need it, so you can just cross it out. Cross that out, cross that out, cross that out. And it says an estimated 35%. Again, you're seeing numbers, guys. So this is more likely to do with an opinion. 35% of drivers is giving you stats. Exceed the speed limit by 20 and will change to do so if the stays are raised. So this is all fact. Since bunching is caused by speeding drivers trying to pass, raising the limit would result in the same amount of congestion but an increased speed. Yeah, that's his opinion, but it's not as strong as, demanding something like the would, should not, that sort of thing, isn't it? So this could be crossed out. Crossed out. Yeah. Moreover, a high speed limit would encourage all drivers to drive faster and thus would increase the existing danger from those who drive too close. It's the same reason as before. So it's an opinion, but not as strong as the previous one. So this one is more of the straightforward one, isn't it, guys, where it's quite clear. This is the structure where they say the opinion at the start and then they give a bunch of reasons after they say their opinion. So he's trying to say that 150, increasing it to 150 is not a good thing. So let's go through this. Congestion of motor is caused by speeding drivers trying to pass those who observe the speed limit. Yet that it referred to as a specific part, but not the overall conclusion of the thing. A high speed limit on motorways would encourage all drivers to drive faster. Again, I think it may have mentioned that somewhere, but it's not the main conclusion of the whole thing. An increase in the speed limit would increase the existing danger drivers who drive too closely. Again, it mentions that at the end, but not the overall idea of the passage. Raising the speed limit to 150 would not reduce congestion on the motorway. So he said it's not a good thing, but he didn't really say why. Yeah, I think so. I think we can consider that anyway. Let's consider that. Let's look at the last one. It would not be a good thing to increase the speed limit to 150. I think that's the best one because that really depicts what he's trying to say, isn't it? It's not a good thing that you should do this. And so although bunching, yeah, so raising the speed limit would not reduce. Here, he's not saying, yeah, the reason I think this one's wrong actually is because he's saying he's just saying it's not a good idea. He's not saying that it's not going to work. He's just saying you shouldn't do this because because for these reasons it probably isn't a good thing. But he's not saying he's not saying that it wouldn't work. So that's why I think D. But either way, I hope you can see E depicts better what this thing over here that we bracketed off that we thought was the most opinionated sentence. So hopefully, guys, that's made sense and look forward to seeing you in the next question. Okay, guys, so previously we looked at this question to do with congestion and increasing the speeding limit. Hopefully, guys, that was there was a bit of I think this one, guys, remember it's of the type where it's really clear what the opinion is, but there might be two options which look really similar and it's difficult to suss out which is the right one. But hopefully, guys, you understood why E was the correct answer. Let's move on now, guys, to IMAT 2014 and its set of questions. So question one, let's read together. Over 30 years ago, the smallpox virus was eradicated from the natural environment, but examples of it are still preserved in two laboratories. Planned how to destroy these remaining viruses. Given that will be the first example of deliberate destruction of an entire species, we should think again before destroying these viruses. Years ago, we thought we had the right to kill as many creatures as we liked, but now we realize we have no such right. Furthermore, we cannot know the future. We cannot justify destroying something that could be of enormous value to us one day, valuable in ways we cannot even think of now. And anyway, what possible harm can captive viruses do to us? Which of the following best expresses the main conclusion of the above argument? So, guys, give yourself over a minute, come back, and let's go through the answer. Okay, guys, let's look through this. It says over 30 years ago. So it's giving really numbers. Remember, whenever there's numbers, it's probably a fact. Over 30, the small was eradicated from the natural environment, but examples are still preserved in 2 laboratories. So this, guys, we can essentially cut that off. Yeah, it is planned how to destroy these remaining viruses. That's a fact. Just saying, it's just literally saying what they're planning to do. And this is given that this will be the first example of digital organization, we should think again. So again, remember guys, demand in blind, we would do this, we need to do this, right? So this is a really strong opinion. Probably, I already know guys from reading this, right, it's going to be of the type where the opinions at the start, we've already seen the opinion, now it's just going to be reasons. So years ago, we thought that the right we had as we liked, but now we realize we have no such right, right? Uh, yeah, so that's just literally literally a sort of, even if his opinion is going to be really weak, but I'd probably even argue it's probably more of a fact, but definitely not as strong as the one we just saw. Um, Furthermore, we cannot know the future. We cannot justify destroying something that could be of enormous value, valuable in ways we cannot think of now. Yeah, that's even if that's an opinion again, is going to be super super weak, right? So we can cross this out. So cross this out. And anyway, what possible harm can captive viruses do? So that's a rhetorical question. That's more of a sort of opinion, but not a demanding opinion. It's not forcing an assumption. It's just asking you to think about it, right? So this again is not going to be one of the strongest opinions. So the strongest is quite clear here. We should think again about destroying these remaining samples of smallpox virus. But let's go through this. We cannot justify destroying something which may of one day be valued to us. That's just talking about um, this part over here, isn't it? It's again really talking about a specific part of the passage, but it says what's the magnitude of the above passage, so it can't be this. Captive smallpox viruses are not going to be harm to us. That's again talking about the last part, very specific part. Can't be that. Deliberate destruction of an entire species should never be allowed. I think it talked about that. Deliberate destructions, we don't have the right to do that. Again, specific part, not going to be the overall thing. The plan and structure of the small virus should be given more thought. Yes, that's uh, literally says what we just thought the conclusion is, isn't it? So it's likely to be this. And then we do not have the right to destroy the smallpox virus. Um, yeah, it's just saying we don't have. It said we don't have the right to destroy creatures anymore, but it doesn't it doesn't do it as good as D as to explaining what the conclusion is based on that bracketed statement. So it can't be this. So I think D is the correct answer, and I hope guys you think also D is the correct answer. And I hope guys, hopefully without even me telling you, you were able to work out that D was the correct answer. But either way, guys, don't worry, don't be afraid if you're still learning. Everyone learns at a different rate, and by the end of it, everyone should be on the same page. So hopefully that made sense, guys, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.